battery life left. I've been at this baseball game for 2 hours plus, and it's still going on, but I did a lot of work. You see my messy back. See, it's not that messy, but in that bag is a lot of money because I got these ideas coming out of here and going in the book and going in the projects and going in the programs that are happening. Hi, Yende. I miss you, hon. I haven't seen you in forever. Hope you're well. Yeah, but out here giving you my live stream, these last 19% on my battery on my phone, thinking about womanhood and love and just being present in that and just really owning that space. It's interesting. The thing I've been thinking about most lately around this is, hey, thinking about how I need, thank you, sweetheart, how I need to relax into my feminine. This is tough. For this modern woman nowadays, just getting into our feminine and relaxing into our feminine is difficult. I can talk to you about a couple things that I've experienced in the last few days. You know, I'm working on this project around non-sexual touch. I'm getting certified as a cuddlist and a cuddle party facilitator. Say that 10 times fast. Hi, Tyree. Hi, Delisha. And really trying to figure out about non-sexual touch, because I found my experience with it has been transformative. Now, I am the proponent of sexual touch and of transformative sexual touch, but I find that getting into the space of non-sexual touch is really, for me, and I think for the people and my clients that I'm working with, hi Ian, really going to be pivotal for them in getting to higher and better levels of sexual touch and sexuality. And so this idea about non-sexual touch brought to mind this idea that I'm developing in the book about female-paced sexuality, which is really sort of moving at a slower pace. Hi, Sean. Welcome. Getting sex to be paced at the female rate. Hey, Dwayne. Miss you. I need to get on your show, babe, so call me for that, please. Yeah, but working on this female-paced sexuality through the basis of non-sexual touch is really something that I'm delving into a lot. There's a lot of healing that can take place in touch without the pressure of sexuality, at the outset at least, and then getting into or transitioning to deeper connection, more oxytocin, which is the thing that bonds people, and critical for women in particular, to open them up sexually. Women, there's all these stats about women's orgasms and how those things are limited and stuff, and a lot of that has to do with battery power at 15. Let's try and plug the phone in so I can keep talking to y'all. Has to do with trust, and oxytocin is the drug that gets women to be able to trust sexually, and the way to release that oxytocin, one easy way, is through non-sexual touch. So I've really been thinking about that, but I take it back to this idea of being able to relax into the feminine. So in the last day, I was having what I thought was an intellectual debate with two gentlemen, but was introduced to a new term that I hadn't heard before, which was nigger bitch syndrome. I hadn't heard this. I was like, what? They're talking about NBS. They're like, oh, I'm so surprised to see you displaying these tendencies of NBS. I'm like, looking like, huh? And I said, just say, what are you talking about? And they talk about this NBS, this nigger bitch syndrome, after we'd had about an hour and a half long debate about identity and racism and how that's not right. And then they laid that shit on me at the end. And I'm just like, how do I even process? Hi, D. Right? Dwayne, right? So I'm expressing myself passionately and having emotion in my discussion, and they laid this shit on me at the end, and I was like, and they're talking about, you know, is it okay for a man to prefer a woman with less male energy, more female energy? And I'm thinking, how do I even get to this relaxed place of releasing my female energy if I can't even be in a trusting space with two black men who I felt growing friendship with? But that shit startled me. But anyway, there's this idea about women hopefully getting to, and this is something I'm trying to develop and trying to develop in myself. You know, I have these tits and I'm a chick and I'm a woman, but I'm also a boss, and I have to be, because I'm the one responsible for my family. My ex-husband is not responsible for our family. I'm the one at this baseball game and at every fucking game taking our kid and doing this shit and paying the bills and creating powerful programming and, you know, caregiving and all the stuff that I do. But when do I get to relax into my feminine? Who's there to support me to do that? And if I express myself as a woman, as an intellectual, which is what I am, and as a woman, and I get laid on top of me this label of being a nigger bitch, which I don't even know what that is. Like, I can't even, like, define that. But it's something about being emotional when you're speaking. Hi, Lee. Love you, honey. Yeah, when is that? Where's that space? And I'm not romantically involved with either of these people. That's not part of what was going. It's really like sort of a friendship thing happening. But when are we as women allowed to do that? And part of that is, so I have to say, at the same time, I have to take responsibility for my own and demand in my work with women that women take responsibility for our own femininity and claiming that and embracing the power of it. Where the conversation began with these gents was talking about how pussy is the most powerful thing in the world, how women are actually truly dominant in the world because we have pussies and pussies are running the show. But at the same time, parallel to how white folks impose racism on us, the less powerful person figures out how to impose or dehumanize or demean the more powerful person, quote unquote, in this theory that was being posited to me, to control that more powerful person. Dwayne, maybe. It was a tough argument. I wasn't arguing. It was a tough discussion, and nobody was budging. And I was like, you know, I'm very protective of my personal energy, so I make choices about where I express that and who I give that to. But to have that laid on me, and then to have them giggling with each other at the end, it was funny to me. As I was leaving, I was walking the fuck out, but as I was leaving, to see them with their heads together, ha 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 ha, because it reminded me of like some shit that would happen in junior high. And the funny thing about it is, throughout my life, my intellect has been the thing, and my friendship and my kindness and whatever has been the things that make my friends love me, and are the things that I know love, that make me who I am. But to have that be demeaned by these people was just like, what? So I I left, and then I wrote a text to the one who I'm, closer friends with. Yeah, they're two black men, Dwayne. And I said, that probably was the worst thing you could have ever said to me. You can call me a slut, a this, a that, whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, no. And I know I'm not that either. But the thing that men are able to do, which puts women on the defensive, is when they demean your personhood. Because you're not a male, you're not debating in the way that they debate. And believe me, my argument was correct. the primary person I was discussing with was wrong, period. If you have a judgment about other people's identity, then you're wrong, period. You can't come back from that. So I'm not concerned about my argument or my ability to discuss this or my position in that. But when they come at you with something that demeans you at your identity level, which is something you can't do anything about, I can't do anything about, and wouldn't want to do anything about being a female. I'm proud and happy to be a female. I made a joke at the end. I said, oh, well, actually, I think I'm probably PMSing. I'm on my cycle, so, blah, blah, blah. And one of them actually believed me. He's like, well, that explains a lot. What the fuck? Seriously, bro? Hi, Ellen. So it just showed sort of the limitation of thought there, but it was very enlightening. And because I know that I create my own reality, I said, okay, so what were you thinking to bring you clarity around this? And I have to say, even though that experience was extremely unsettling for a short period of time, it also has me thinking further. Right. But men do that all the time, sweets. Unfortunately, men do. White folks do. Whoever's in power, whoever holds the most power, in order to maintain their position, they absolutely will demean the other person to bolster their own shaky sense of identity and superiority. So it happens, unfortunately, all the time. Yeah. But I want to know more because I am visionary and because I am interested in not so much focusing on problems, but focusing on the creation and of the vision of something better. I want to focus on what it means for men and women to be in their power. In particular, what it means for women to be in their power. I'm very curious about this because I feel I am a powerful woman. At the same time, I don't get to let my guard down. There are very few people who I can be chill with as a woman, as a human being, as an intellect, as Dr. Elisa, as all kinds of things. I'm able to interact with people and be comfortable and feel good. But to just relax into my feminine, I can count on 2 fingers people who I know who I can chill with like at that level, who I've been in relationships with in the past. And yeah, that's really true. I was like, one is like a real dear friend now. And so I was like, oh, was I in a relationship with him? Yes, I was. Way back when, hundreds of years ago, back in the end of high school and college. So where do women get this space? Where can they get this space to be in their feminine, to feel protected, to feel not demeaned in their strength, to not be a threat that needs to be kept down, but a partner, a true partner? And where can men also be in a space where they can be felt, they can feel comfortable, and they can feel nurtured, and they can feel loved without their masculinity being in question? I want to create that. And so the work I'm doing on this book, can you see my computer back there in my purse? Yeah, that book that's sitting in my purse right now, that's going to publishers, we're going out, send out stuff to publishers soon, is about empowered intimacy. Like, how do we be in a relationship, in an interaction with others, be ourselves, be fully with ourselves and in ourselves, with others, without giving up who we are, without being asked to give up who we are, without having to play a role that's false in order to be loved and accepted. So I'm holding in my mind a vision of women who are powerful and strong and loved. That's the vision I'm holding, because that's what I want for myself, and that's what I have experienced in the past, and that's what I'm holding out for now. Not less than that. Not less than that. And that's what I'm holding for all the women I work with and want to work with in the future and hope to touch with my books and workshops and whatever other shit is coming up. But even if you're just watching this, I want to create that space for you. I want to help you. I can't create it for you. I want to help you figure out how to create your own space where you're in your power and you are loved in that space. And men, if you're loving a woman for who she is without demeaning her, she can only raise you and lift you up. That's all she can do, because she's in a strong position to lift you up to the next level, and you can reach and lift her up to the next level. You cannot demean women and empower yourself. Women, you cannot demean men and empower yourself. It doesn't work like that. It does not work, and it will not work like that. So I'm holding this vision of love, of empowered intimacy, of depth, of amazing transformative sexual experiences, of amazing transformative non-sexual experiences that are possible for all of us in this vision of the future I have. Yeah. That's what I'm holding out for. That's what I'm creating, even better than holding out for. That's what I'm creating. And I hope that's what you're creating too. I'm interested to know what your visions are, what you hope for, where you want to see intimate relationships moving, your own, our cultures, our societies. Where do you want to see those going? I hope you'll share those with me. I hope you'll share your ideas with me about what we can create intimately. Intimacy is it for me. Connection, love, and intimacy is everything. I literally, even though I don't do it, and I can be very not socially awkward, but I hold off from people. I literally want to just hug and hold everyone. Like, if I could cuddle every single person on this earth, I would do it. I would be in nirvana if I could hold everyone. Hey Marshall, how are you? Thank you for contributing. I think we need to take more time to connect intellectually, and then the physical part will be that much greater. I think that's extremely powerful. I think you're right, that there is a need to slow it down. Sex is too easy nowadays, and I love it. It's some of my favorite things to do, believe me. But it's so easy right now that it's cheap. Sex is cheap. Intimacy is priceless. Allende, I know you're all about love. I know that's right. But sex is like a dime, not even a dime a dozen. But true intimacy, real connection, dropping your roles, dropping your mask, being real with somebody, that's a challenge. When you can swipe right and swipe left and be like, boop, done with it. When sex and connection is like a game nowadays. When it's given up so easily. And it's not like I'm not even for this whole idea of women need to guard it and only give it to blah, 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 this and that bullshit. Because that's just another way of controlling women's sexuality. I'm not into that. That's not reasonable for me. They don't need to be the guards. We all need to be the guards of of our sexuality. And we all need to be putting it at a higher level and having higher standards for how we're interacting with one another. And who we're going to interact with, and where we're sharing our energy, and who we're connecting with mentally. Not only fucking, but mind fucking. Who are you mind fucking? Not just who are you spreading your legs or sticking it in, but who are you giving your mind to, your spirit to, who are you connecting with at that level? And really, who are you connecting with you? How are you connecting with yourself? Because every relationship is really a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And that's a true bottom line. So if you're not spending time getting to know you, if you're not spending time on a daily in prayer and or meditation, you're losing out. And you're going to miss the fundamental part about being a human being on this earth, which is about being connected first and foremost to yourself, and then connecting intimately with others. How many people do you walk past every day you never speak to? How many people do you see regularly who you don't know? I've lived next door to, on and off. I lived there, moved, and came back to the house that I own now. Neighbors to the left, I have a speaking relationship with them. I have no idea what their name is. I have no idea what the name of anyone in that household is. And they don't know mine either, I don't think. But, you know, on the interpersonal level really is kind of where I focus with this. We're cheating ourselves. We are cheating ourselves when we don't have the bravery to connect with one another and love one another. And why would you cheat yourself? Why would you cheat somebody else for the opportunity to know your heart and to know you? Jason, hi fam, hey fam. Why would you cheat yourself from that, babe? You don't want to do that. You want to open up. I know the work that I'm doing and the work that I'm creating is really trying to figure out how to help folks get there. Because I don't think I know. And it really is a deep knowing. I know that we must connect to one another. Not virtually, not across this internet, not in virtual reality, heart to heart. Facing somebody heart to heart and being there with them and really sharing who we are, which is special and blessed and a gift. You don't know what can come out of those interactions until you are willing to open yourself and be in a heart-to-heart connection with somebody else. Or many other people if you can. As many people as you can touch with your heart. Sorry, my son's up at bat. I'm at a baseball game while I'm live streaming, y'all. He set a goal to get on base twice and to get at least one run, and he's done that. So it's interesting to see what he's going to do on this third round. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. You know, I'm interested to know what do you need? What do you seek in your intimate relationships? Or in your relationships that may or may not be intimate? What are you looking for? What do you want? Thank you, Dwayne, honey. Yes, marriage is nothing if you can't grow into the level of oneness. I don't know if you ever really become one, but you can become a lot closer and you can become aligned in terms of where you are with one another. And that's what we want. Why would you want less than that? I look at these people who I know in my town. Hi, Elaine. I look at these folks who I know in my two towns where we live. And I see so many people in what I call empty marriages. Like, if you're not deeply connected with the person you've made vows to, what are you doing? You know how many people I know who are married and also have a boyfriend or girlfriend on the side? A lot. Far too many. And I'm trying to understand this. I'm not strict about fidelity. That's not like one of my things. I think you have the right to, you know, people are people and they're going to, you know, because you're with someone doesn't mean you're never going to be attracted to anyone else. I think it's impossible. But people not being honest about that and lying and putting on a show and putting on a face and putting on whatever, that's the issue. What are you demonstrating to your children when you live that way? When you live within a lie, what are you demonstrating to your children? You're demonstrating the same thing that your parents demonstrated to you and their parents demonstrated to them because you're worried about stuff that's irrelevant, like what other people think. As my grandfather said, hey fam, listen to this. As my grandfather said, people aren't thinking about you very long or very hard. They're really thinking about what's for lunch and something else. They're not worried about you. So live your life, but live it in honesty. Like, being in these relationships and carrying on is like, what is it all about? And it's really the lie part that's the problem for me. And I know about this from personal experience, let me say. Unfortunately and or fortunately, I have been in that situation myself. But and I'm not saying I did the right thing. In my marriage and afterward, you know, I wasn't happy in that marriage. And I decided to end it. And that's a decision. And other decisions are to stay and figure it out and do whatever. Lots of people. But bottom line, be honest in that relationship, please. So unfair to be carrying on the side and your spouse doesn't know about it and thinks everything is cool. That's not fair. You cannot love a person and treat them in that way. Your closest person. Dr. Yamabe talks about moving out of our personal power and our spiritual power, our divinity. I gotta read this comment. What you talking about? I look to be free in my relationship with a free whole. Absolutely. You have to be free. And free doesn't mean just go fuck everybody you could find on the streets. Oh, I'm free to fuck whoever I want. I hope you don't mind. But if that's what you're going to do, then speak on that. Negotiate those terms. Because anything less than that is unfair to someone who loves and cares about you. And who you're supposed to love and care about. Relationships need more silent time spent. Time with no direct... That's it, Dwayne, you're like hitting on it, right, babe? You're hitting on it with this non-sexual touch stuff that I'm introducing. And so as soon as I finish my cuddle party certification, we're gonna be having these cuddle parties and these touch parties in New Jersey. You have to go to New York or some other fucking place to get this now. But New Jersey needs this too, and I will be facilitating that and teaching people how to do that. And that is, thank you for touching on that. That time of silent physical communication that doesn't have the pressure of sexual activity is healing. And until you experience it, you won't understand what I'm talking about even. Until you experience this, you won't understand. But your heart and your spirit may understand what I'm reaching for, trying to express to you all. Marshall, you're right. So much fakeness, so much falsehood. And I'm saying, like, there's so much pain in there. And creating so much pain in there. It's really tragic. And people die like that. I'm almost 3 months out from my job. So I quit my career of 15 years that I've been trained for to do social policy research about 3 months ago. And this is related in some way. But related to this idea of living in a fake way. I'm so much happier. I feel like I'm living my life for the first time. Because I'm out here entrepreneuring, hustling, making this life. But I'm not fake. There's no falsehood. There's no... I used to be so angry all the time. Do you find yourself angry? You find yourself eating, smoking, drinking, fucking, doing all this stuff, acting out because you're so angry, because you're not living like you should. You're not living like you. Marshall, what? Let me thumbs up that comment, babe. You don't have to answer a touch like you. Okay, Dwayne, you guys are getting deep today. You guys are getting deep this evening. But that's for real. Both of those comments, thumbsing up. Fully thumbsing up those. So, for real, like, just living in your authentic space and being you, really, people will see it. People stop me and say, you're different. You're different. And I am. I'm kinder. I have more space. I want to be with people. I want to love on them in a way that I didn't have time to in the past. That I wasn't able to reach them. Because I'm me. And that goes in relationships too. That goes in interpersonal relationships too. And you don't have to quit your job to get this. But you gotta get this. You have got to get to your real you. And live in that comfort and alignment with who you really are. You must. You must. And I want to help. So however I can be helpful, please let me know. Marshall, word. Dwayne, word. Oh, my loves. My loves. This has been a treat. I am so happy to have had a little bit of time with you. I hope to see you again. I'll be better about my Facebook Living with you because I want to be here and have this kind of exchange. And I hope it's helpful for you. So if it's helpful, Look out for a video from me next time, my darlings. XOXO. Love you. Bye. Thank you, sweetheart. Bye-bye.